Hey YouTube, it's Aiden slash BrickBob, whatever you want to call me, here on our next brand at NAM Double M, Jupiter slash XO. My usual disclaimer, I work for two drum corps. One is Pacific Crest, sponsored by Jupiter, and the other one is Cadet, sponsored by Yamaha, the bad guys to Jupiter. But my thoughts do not represent those drum corps at all, or those brands. And I play mostly consoles or instruments with a Jupiter euphonium, and I'm not sponsored by any of them. So I'm free to talk about these guys. Anyway, Jupiter slash XO. Jupiter slash XO, I say that because Jupiter used to make all the brass instruments, and XO was like their top line. Now, XO is kind of like this separate thing that's kind of distancing itself from Jupiter, maybe because of bad vibes with Jupiter. I'm not really sure. Anyway, Jupiter is based out of, I think, Taiwan, and they made pretty, like, meh slash bad student instruments for a long time. And so they've kind of got that reputation that maybe Yamaha had in, like, the 60s and 70s when they were kind of flooding the market with these not extremely good instruments. And then they've really stepped up their game lately, kind of like Yamaha did 40 years ago. And now they're making really good instruments. So now they've kind of changed their name to get away from that stigma, I think. And the XO is like the top level of Jupiter, I guess. Brass instruments. It's just XO, whatever. I've gotten corrected over this. I feel like they're the same, but maybe not. Anyway, XO makes some cool trombones. The Thayer bass that they had at the show last year with their own axial valves was one of the best horns at the whole show last year. I thought it was so good. Very even, easy to blow, well made, good sound. Like, I would be happy playing that any day of the week. And the one at the show this year had the same great feel, big sound, but it was just not very well built. The valves are very sticky. The slide had like machining grit on it or something. Just very not happy with how that horn was put together. It still played very well. It still had that same feeling, but they need to like finish the horns before they bring them to shows. I was a little disappointed at XO because last year I came back and played that same horn several times just to make sure, and it was good every time. And this year it was just not as good. I played it once for 7 or 8 minutes, and I was like, I don't want to keep playing this because the slide is so bad. And like the valves were not in line with each other, and usually they are. I think they are as designed on that bass. And I think that I can't remember what the model number is, 1232D or something like that. It's a good horn, but they brought a bad one, and that makes me worry about their consistency. The Thayer tenor, I thought, last year was also very good, and this year was also felt very good. A nice, big, good articulations, good feel. But again, not very well built, very sloppily put together, really, really bad slide, even worse than the bass. Valve was sticky. Just, come on, guys, step up your game. Don't bring horns that just came out of the shop and you just spray lacquer on them. Bring ones that you know are going to be good. And I know that's difficult, and I'm probably asking for a little too much there, but I don't know. I feel like if you want to give a good impression, that's the way to do it, and it didn't happen. And they also have Euphonium, the XO Euph. So I went and played that. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was better than last year. I played it last year, and I was not very impressed. I thought it was okay, bordering on not okay. But this year, I thought it was pretty good. Nice, good low range. It has nickel valve caps, which look kind of cheap. I'm not sure what that's about. I'd rather have kind of like fake gold or just brass or something rather than nickel, because the nickel really stands out from the silver and makes it look like you're not trying. I'm not sure why you'd make them nickel-plated anyway. But I thought that was a pretty good euphonium. I liked it more than the Eastman, but I think it also costs a lot more. I'm not really sure. So Jupiter slash XO, I think it's just XO. Not entirely sure. Making good stuff, but maybe not bringing the best stuff to the show, which makes me a little worried.